But welcome back, everybody. We're on week 4 of Unleashed. I appreciate you guys coming today. Just want to kind of go over some of your homework reviews, making sure that we're staying on track for all of that. I know I'm kind of going quite heavy on you guys. I just want to make sure that we have some systems in place for next year to make sure that we're on track to set our goals and hopefully accomplish them all. So I want to make sure everyone's set their goals for 2019. That you've worked on your 136 process. I know a lot of you guys are on our mastermind groups, so if you have filled out your 136 process already, keep them and go ahead and bring them to your mastermind groups, because we're going to be doing these in our November masterminds, and so you can change it up if you want to, but if not, it's perfectly fine to use the same 136 process. Prospecting, making sure you're doing your 5-5-5-3, so that's 5 handwritten notes, 5 phone calls, 5 texts or emails, and then 3 face-to-faces. Do coffees, do whatever you want. We like to tell you to set the expectation that you're going to be talking a little bit about work. So, when you're meeting with your people, maybe bring them a CMA of their neighborhood and just let them know what's going on in their marketplace so they have an idea. And that way it kind of gives you an in on talking about real estate and then letting them know that you know what's going on, and then you guys can go back to your guys' coffee for the afternoon. And then accountability partners, how's that working out? I have a few people that have told me that they are working with their accountability partners. Everyone has one. Is there anyone that doesn't have one? You don't have one, Brenda? I will get you one. Okay. Time blocking. Is anyone working on that? I need to work on that. You're doing that? I'm like, Lord, there's not enough hours in my day. So time blocking is really going to be helpful and be a key to your success. Your business plans, I don't care which one you use. The one that Mike Ferry has is pretty detail-oriented, so you have to fill out how many appointments you get to get in the listing, how many calls you have to make to get an appointment. The one that Mark Stark had given us, the 4 steps to a business plan, that one's a little bit more intricate. So, personally, I like the Mike Ferry one, but whatever one you prefer, just use one. That's all that matters. And then, what did we do for last week? I think that was it. So I think all of our homework is kind of caught up. As long as you guys are doing that, we should be on track. And this week, I just want to say welcome to week 4. And I hope you guys are all crushing it, because I think I've talked to a few people that have picked up a few leads just based off of doing some of these accountability activities. So I hope that you guys are continuing to do so and picking up some new leads and generating some business for 2019. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. So if you guys aren't finding the opportunities that you need, then make them. You need to find the ways to find the clients. If you guys aren't finding them in open houses, then walk neighborhoods. If you're not finding them while you're walking neighborhoods, start calling. We've got the cold directory that a lot of agents here have. If you want, I think some agents go in on the cost of it. If not, we can see if we can find some that might let you borrow it and see if you like it or not. So there's a lot of different options out there that you can do prospecting. And we can help you find some more if none of these are working for you. Stop wishing and start doing. This video that I'm going to do today, I completely sucked at it this morning. So just about procrastination and not putting things on the back burner and making sure that you get them done. So if you guys wouldn't mind helping me with the lights, I'll get the video started.
I don't believe in the word procrastination. Like, I don't really believe in that word. I told a young lady in Australia who told me she was a procrastinator. I said, look, if I told you to meet me here tomorrow at 5 a.m. and I'm gonna give you $3 million, where would you be? She said, I'm gonna be right there at 4:59, ready to get that $3 million. And I said, so then there's no such thing as procrastination. What it is it's not important to you. Right? It's not meaningful to you. It's not something that's urgent to you. And when something is not urgent, you put it off. So yep, you're in school, yes. You probably are getting grades, etc. But if it's not meaningful to you, if it's not important to you, then you're not gonna make it a priority. So what you have to do is find out, how can you make it meaningful? How can you make it purposeful? How can you make it stick? And when you can find that out, I promise you, you'll get up early, you'll get there first, and you'll do whatever it takes to make that goal a reality. So for me, no such thing as procrastination. It's a such thing as it's not a priority to you.
You said that you were going to graduate this year. You were going to finish college this year. You said you were going to run a marathon, right? This is what you said out of your mouth. All I'm doing is I'm saying, listen to me, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. I didn't tell you all year what you should do. But what I did tell you is don't talk about it, be about it. You should be tired, all right? Tired of talking about it, and you should be at a place where you're doing something about it, all right? The reason why you have not become successful, the reason why you are not like a locomotive, the reason why you're not having success in your life is because every single day you got an excuse. And I need you to do me a favor. I made my last excuse yesterday. My last reason. I came up with my last reason yesterday of why I can't do what I'm supposed to do. And so I need you to do me a huge favor. All your excuses, all your good reasons, everything that's keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do, I need you to put it behind you and say yesterday was the last day for that foolishness. Yesterday was the last day to say I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have enough money to go to school. I don't have enough money to get a computer. I don't have what it takes. I'm not smart enough, right? I don't write well enough. I don't sing well enough. That's why I didn't do my CD. I didn't write my book because I'm not on that level. Listen to me. You better hear what I'm saying. Yesterday was the last day that I want to hear an excuse. It's over with. I was embarrassed. I said, listen to me, no more defeats. No more defeats, man. No more. I was tired of feeling defeated. I was tired of talking about I was going to do it and didn't do it. And I hated the feeling of when somebody asked me, yo, E, where the book? I ain't got it. I was tired of getting beat. I was tired of defeat. I said, I'm going to get it done. Every time you set this big goal, you never get it accomplished because you never break it up in manageable pieces. This is it. I'm talking about procrastinators. You still have time. Don't quit. Don't give up. You still have time. You can do it. You can make it happen, but you can't do it procrastinating. You can't do it talking about it, all right? So I just want to go back and recap because I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying. But I dare you, I double dare you to do exactly what you said you were going to do when the year started because it's not too late.
So I like that video for the fact that it just talks about, you know, you're not going to achieve your dreams if you actually are going to sit there and continue to keep on procrastinating. So I was listening to a video last night or the day before in regards to, would you guys mind hitting the backlights? I'm sorry. This lady every morning, and I tried it yesterday, but today it did not work for me. She said that she does a NASA countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she's got to get out of bed. And she doesn't get up in the bed in those 5 seconds. She knows that she's not going to get out of bed and she's not going to accomplish her goals for that day. And so, it must have been 2 days ago. So I tried it yesterday because it was 4:15 and I've been in a funk the last couple days, just being overwhelmed and skipped the gym Monday, which I never do, skipped the gym Sunday, which I never do, and so Wednesday I'm like, get your ass out of bed. And so I tried the NASA approach. I did the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it worked. And I got up and I went to the gym at 4:15 and had a great day. It was crazy, but it was great. Today, I was super tired. I knew I had to get up at 5 to go downstairs to run and maybe do some lifting, and I tried the NASA approach and it didn't work. So I felt kind of like a failure, but then I was like, okay, you have a 2-year-old, you're out for Halloween until almost 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you had a really rough day yesterday, so cut yourself a little slack. There's going to be days that we might suck, but then the next day you just got to get up and do it again. So, you know, just don't procrastinate. Don't keep on pushing it off because it won't happen if you don't keep on trying. So that was kind of what I liked from that video that we just watched. I forgot to introduce our speaker for the day. I actually invited Rick Kanne to speak for us today. He is a new agent here at Berkshire Hathaway, transferring from a different company. We've been fortunate to have so many of you guys join us here at Berkshire Hathaway. And so this year I was able to ask Rick. I had one agent that didn't really want to speak, kind of backed out on me. And so he was so grateful enough to say he would do it. So the speakers that come in most of the time hate me when I ask them to do it. I've had some that were completely mortified after they've spoken in the class. And so last year I had one that hated it. I've had a couple this year that have hated it. So if you guys really enjoy the speakers, will you reach out to them and tell them thank you? Because it takes a lot for them to get up here. I hate it and I admit that I hate it, but these people are taking an extra step and like helping me out, coming here to talk to all of you, and it freaks them out. So if you've liked any of the speakers, shoot them an email or a quick note and just say thank you. It can be one of the notes that you write for the 5 of the day. So Rick's going to come talk to us about 10 o'clock today. Stop thinking about it and just do it. So consistency is a key. You need to be consistent with your time blocking. You got to be consistent with your phone calls, your handwritten notes, your text, emails, whatever you need to be doing to make your transactions happen. You need to be consistent with that. So prospecting tips. I found 20 great prospecting tips, so I was going to kind of go to each one of these a little bit and give a little detail. Also in the next few weeks, I'm going to kind of go through some things that I've gotten out of the mastermind groups that I'm going to share with you, like forms that some of our agents here in the office send out to their clients, like market update, spy on your neighbors. the HUD letter, or now closing disclosure letter. I had Megan Owens and a couple ladies in one of my mastermind groups share with me how they keep their files organized for a transaction, and if by chance they have an assistant, what their checklist is as well. Now, Megan Owens is kind of a freak of nature, overly organized and very type A, so when you see her sheet, you may have to cross a few of these items off. It's nuts. She showed me her spreadsheet that she said she'd be willing to share with us all as well. Her assistant is out pregnant, just had a baby, so she didn't know how to email it to me, so as soon as I get that emailed to me, if you want, let me know and I get it, but she goes, this is the only way I can keep 30 transactions in line and know what's been done when I have that many deals going on. So between her and her assistant, they put it in Google Docs. They can both get on it and look to see what was done at what time and make sure all the transactions have been taken care of. So, it's so nice that the agents here, their mindset is to share their items. And so, I'm going to kind of take some of the items that I've gotten from other agents and just give you guys some material to help maybe, reach out to your clients in the near future, just so you have some more ideas. So prospecting tips. Have a plan and stick to it. Schedule your time for the activities and don't go over that time. I think that's really important with the time blocking. Also, if you have time set aside per day for the unknown distractions that come up, it will improve your prospecting by keeping it from getting interrupted. So this was my yesterday. I didn't set enough time to get interrupted. I had my day planned out minute by minute. It didn't really work out really well for me. I got home and I had seen my keys on top of my car that luckily made it home from the daycare from 114th down to Carter Lake. And then I had to show a house that I'm renting out and I had a gas leak. So then I had to go back and sit and wait for 45 minutes for Black Hills, and my daughter wanted to go trick-or-treating. So if you plan for a couple minutes of error, it's better off rather than being stressed and having a really craptastic day wondering why your daughter is sitting in your back seat not trick-or-treating with your friends. So, just give yourself a little room for error. Know the details of the lead's home and the area. This is the quickest way to separate yourself from the other agents. So if you're calling on a lead or if you're going to go meet with a lead, know the market details. Know how many houses are currently pending in that area, how many have sold, what the average market time is, average price. You don't have to know specific details for that style of home, but if you can kind of spout out just the basic details of that lead's information, they're going to think that you are far more educated than any other agent that they've spoken to. So kind of something to set yourself apart. Look for quality over quantity in prospecting conversations. Don't think of the number of leads that you can call in an hour. You want to gauge your success on how many owners that you talk to that are serious about selling. So I know a lot of people do auto dialers and think that I called 300 people today. That's great, but how many people did you actually talk to that are considering selling, or that might have someone that has a buyer that would be interested in looking to buy? So classify your leads. Classify them as warm, hot, and cold. So if you're doing your calls for that day, you know exactly who you're calling. If you're calling a bunch of cold leads, you know you're going to get a lot of hang-ups and you're going to have a lot of people that are probably not super happy with you. If you're calling warm leads, you're going to have a lot of people that are a little bit more easier to talk to, and hot leads, you know you're going to knock it out of the park today. So I think you have to have your mindset right when you're calling your prospects, knowing who you're calling and how to have your mindset put in the right space for that day. Appreciate each no because you're closer to a yes. I think that this is an important one because a lot of times we hear no a lot and we hate the fact that we don't want to be rejected, but you're going to hear no a lot in this industry. And if you're not set up to know that you're going to do that, or if you're not prepared for it, you're not going to make it, because most people don't like to hear no, don't like to be rejected. I hate to be rejected. And so I think if you have yourself prepared for it, knowing that, I've got 2 more no's down, but that yes is coming, that I think you'll have a better aspect on what you're doing. Don't take rejection or anything prospecting personally. So again, in the prospecting world that things are going to go bad sometimes. Someone might hang up on you, someone might curse you because their house didn't sell after being overpriced for 3 months on the market, especially right now. But just keep on picking up the phone and making your phone calls, because I promise you, there's agents that aren't. So if you're doing it and doing those activities, you're going to hit a home run here soon. Be persistent. A lot of the time, it's a game of persistence. So you just have to keep on doing those activities until you get the leads that you want. So keep your persistence respectful and not annoying. Don't scare them away by over-communicating or being annoying to them. It's important to stay in touch, but just do it in the right ways. So a lot of times we get that one person that might buy, and then we text them, we call them, we email them, and at that point they're like, no thank you, we don't want you to work with us. So just know that sometimes too much, you need to kind of tone it down a little bit and just make sure you're reading your people. And another keynote that I've had people tell me that when they're working with their clients, they ask them, what's the best way for me to contact you? Do you prefer text, calls, or emails? That way you know exactly how your client wants to work with you, and you're setting yourself up for success. Always try to get a face-to-face meeting. If a prospect is willing to meet with you, they're serious and considering about selling or buying. So I know a lot of times in the busy world nowadays, people don't really want to meet with us prior to. They kind of either want to meet us at the house, they want to just get the information. I think it's really important if you can get someone's time and meet with them, that you're going to lock them down more as a potential client. Offer to help and prove your value. When they're ready to list, they'll call the person who helped them the most. So even if they're not ready to list now, they will remember you because you've given them something of value. Use your sphere of influence. Client referrals are the most valuable referrals that you can earn. The average conversion rate is extremely high, most about 70%. So if you can hit your sphere of influence and keep in touch with them, we've talked about pop-bys, client appreciation parties, handwritten notes, just reaching out saying, hey, I saw your daughter tune to you this week, hope you guys had a great time. Send them a $5 gift card to Dairy Queen or Cold Stone Creamery. Something simple, just letting them know that you notice them, that you're keeping in touch with them. They're going to love that. Events and open houses are places to get contact information. This is big because they aren't cold leads and they could eventually turn into referrals or listings. So there's an agent in this room that I know that's knocking it out of the park in open houses. She has open houses, and I believe that she says anyone looking for a house that's not attached to a realtor, if I'm not mistaken, can qualify for a free gift card. And so anyone, she says that she's going to pick one, but anyone that signs up that says that they're not working with a realtor, well, they all get free gift cards. And I think that this person has probably picked up most of her business this year through open houses, if I'm not mistaken, and has done a really great job with that. So, find something that works for you. That's something that we had never heard of before. And so to see somebody new getting into the business, trying something different is really nice. And her to share these ideas with some of us, it's awesome. I mean, try something different. In my next weeks to come, I have a couple agents that do the Nosy Neighbor Open House that do it really phenomenally, and I'm going to kind of share one of their flyers with you and how they do it as well. So just find ways to get out there and prospect and get different business. Treat every prospect like you would a friend. Don't be nervous, and don't be all about getting the business or the listing. So a lot of times we kind of just start jumping to the chase, asking when they want to buy and sell. Maybe get to know them. People like to talk about themselves a lot, so make sure you're asking them a lot of questions. Ask them about where they're going, their family. Don't talk too much about yourself, and make sure that you're asking them the proper questions. That way that they feel that you really do care about them and not just the paycheck. Use proven methods and scripts, find out what works, and repeat it over and over again. So I know a lot of people use Mike Ferry here in this office. I am not great with scripts, but I'd have to tell you the couple times that I did create my own scripts and practice them over and over again, I would call people and feel more confident. Now, I use mine more in a recruiting standard, and I hate picking up the phone because I don't like it when agents tell me, no, I'm happy where I'm at. But I still made the phone calls, and once I wrote the script that I felt comfortable writing and talking and saying, it came a little bit easier to me, and I felt a little bit more comfortable and confident, and so they do work. If you don't like what you're seeing out there, create your own or take a couple of them and merge them, but the scripts do help you feel a little bit more confident when you're making your phone calls. Prove all agents aren't the same at each listing appointment. The burden of proof is on you here, and this is the time and place to do it. So again, make sure that you set yourself apart, let them know how valuable that they are to you, get to know them, know the statistics of the area, make sure you know the marketplace. If by chance it's a bad market, maybe bring a trend graphics report and say, hey, we've got a 6-month inventory on this price point, and set them up for the proper, time that they have to come, because right now I think we have a lot of disgruntled sellers in that 350 plus market price, and I think that they're all in that same mindset that the market's still really great when we're not. We're in a different spot than we were 3 months ago and 6 months ago. So make sure you're honest with them. Don't try to buy the listing. Don't try to pretend that the market's great when it's not. Be real with them, and I think they're going to appreciate that a little more, and you're going to win them over just by the honesty that you have with them. Ask for referrals after a sale and while you're in the transaction. So the best time to ask for a referral is while they're happy and they're super excited and they're getting ready to close. So ask for it then. Maybe ask for it at the time of walkthrough. Hey, do you guys know anyone else looking to buy or sell right now? I would love to work with people just like you. And then after they close, they're even more excited. Maybe stop by with either some soda, some pizza, something while they're moving in, and just say, hey, I'm really excited you guys are getting moved in. Is there anyone else that I might be able to help with the same adventure like I helped you? Asking them, that's half the battle. We hate to ask and hate to bother people, but if you take the time to ask people for the referrals, they have no problem referring you out as long as you've done a really nice job for them. And then listen to their concerns first. An agent who talks too much will turn off the owners. So again, making sure you're listening to your clients, their needs, and what they want, I think it's going to take you a lot farther in this whole transaction. And then go the extra mile, prove your value. I know I've said this 3 times, but I think that's super important. That if you don't prove a value to your people regarding this transaction, they're going to go find somebody else that will prove a value to them. Because there's a lot of us to choose from in this marketplace, and there's not a ton of listings. I mean, so I think we're at like 3,000 agents, and I think we're probably like at 2,800 listings. So realistically, our agents are kind of over our listing inventory, but there's agents out there killing it. They're selling 100 and some houses a year, but how are they doing it? Because they're proving their value, because they have systems in place to show their clients that they're going to be well cared for, that they're going to be in contact with them, and they ask them which ways and which methods are going to work best for them. So I think your value is going to be your big key here. So grow your business. A happy client equals referrals, which means more money in your pocket. So I know that this is kind of something we've been harping on a lot, but we've talked to a lot of agents in the office that used to do a lot of lead generation, Zillow, internet leads, whatnot, and their business actually has gone down based off of that. So the ones that are really kind of taking it to another level are the ones that are working on nurturing their relationships, their past clients, their friends, their family. Those are the ones that have an increase in their business and are continuing to do really, really well. In 2008, the market, obviously everyone knows, hit a nice low point for everybody. And the ones that were in the business that really stayed true in the business, I would say, did the old school things. They did the handwritten notes. They did, the pop buys. They did client appreciation parties. Back then, I didn't hear those quite as much, but they stayed in touch with their past clients and made sure that they knew that they were important to them. And the ones that treated this like a business survived that really hard hit that we took back then. Most of you guys, I don't believe, have hit the 2000 or were here in 2008 when that market crashed. So this is the first time that you guys are feeling kind of a pinch in the marketplace, and it's, I don't think we're going to see what we saw in 2008, but I definitely think we're going to hit a slowdown. So in order to kind of go past that, I think you need to do some new things in order to prospect. So it's all about relationships, and we love referrals. My definition of a lead is someone who is ready to list their home or purchase a home within 30 days or less. A lead is motivated, financially capable, understands the current market, and is willing to work under my terms. So I put this down only for the fact that a lot of us waste our time on people that really have no intention of doing anything anytime soon. So if you're working with people and dedicating a lot of time, and if they're not willing to get pre-approved yet and you're still showing them houses, you need to put them on the back burner and find somebody that is willing to do the items that you need to do in order to sell them a house. So, we have a lot of people that are out there kind of kicking tires around, and so make sure if you're spending time on them and taking time away from your family or other activities, that it's someone that's worth the while. Your brand is your promise to your customers. It is who you are, who you want to be, and how people perceive you to be. So I've heard this actually like 2 or 3 times this year, and then I found this in some old notes from one of the speakers from a different class that we had. And this is so true. I think this was Kelly Kuntz that had said this in one of hers, but this last September, they went to Vancouver for our summit for Berkshire Hathaway, and they came back and said this exact same thing. So Kelly Kuntz, if you've ever seen her website or her Facebook page, she is a complete marketing guru. She brands herself crazy, and I think the fact that she has such a great brand for herself has kept her keeping going as well as she does. Megan Owens, you hear her on the radio every single morning on 94.1, and she's always asking for business on the radio in her commercials. So I don't think you have to spend all that kind of money in order to make it, but I think that you have to find a brand and be consistent with it. That way your clients know exactly who you are and what to expect when they work with you. You control your life. Your own will is extremely powerful. So again, like I said this morning, I knew I wasn't getting up out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I thought, well, maybe I'll trick myself with this NASA countdown that I had heard about the other day. But, I already willed myself to staying in bed. But I think personally I needed a couple extra hours of sleep because my daughter kicked my butt last night. I'm not used to Halloween. I'm like, whoa, I got how many more years of this? And then the tech tool of the day. We've got Tabitha here today. She's going to talk about Videolicious and the Nextdoor app. I'm going to talk about a couple other things after she's done, but social media is pretty high right now in the business world, where I don't think that we expected it to be quite so great. I have agents right now that are not prospecting. I think I spoke about her last week. All she's done is Facebook. And so she needs to learn to prospect a different way. But if you're not using social media, it's definitely something that we need to get you guys involved in. So.
Okay, so today we are talking about Nextdoor and Videolicious. So who has used Nextdoor? A few of you, okay. And Videolicious. Okay, so if you don't know what those are, Nextdoor is basically an application, an app for your phone. You can also go to nextdoor.com, but the purpose of it is so that you can start communicating with your particular neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. So you can get on there and you can start discussing your business. You can actually post your listings now if you've claimed a business page. And just a basic way for you to start communicating with all of your neighbors. And in particular, if you want to hold an event or something and you want everybody to come so you can get their names. So in order to get that, you have to download the application. And it looks like this. You're going to see a greenhouse. So if you go to your app store, you're going to see like a little green house. It could look a little bit like this green one here. Either way, it's the one that says Nextdoor with little green home. Grab that, and then you have to actually sign up with a profile page using just your personal profile. Just like if you were to sign up with Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or any of that, you're going to have to create a profile page. Now, when you're in there, you actually have to put your home address in there because they have to verify that you actually live in that neighborhood. So it has to be your home address, and then you can get set up. So they're going to establish that you are, in fact, the owner that lives in that neighborhood. And then you'll be connected with all of your neighbors and everyone and a lot of the surrounding neighborhoods if you have surrounding neighborhoods. Once you do that, after you've created your standard page, you can then go and claim your business page. So you're going to go to your business page to be added, and you start typing in the name of your business. Now, the name of your business might already be in there. Say, for instance, you have another agent in your community that has created the business page already. If so, it's totally fine. You can still claim the same business page, and perhaps they've already gotten lots of recommendations for you. If not, you can go and write your own business page, claim that, and then start asking for recommendations there. So it's just and once you do that, once you've created your business page, then you can start adding your listings. But you cannot add your listings if you have not claimed a business page as you being a real estate agent. You cannot just post to your next door neighbors from a standard business page. From a standard page, you have to have your business page created. Does that make sense? As an example, last year, my husband and we did a coat drive and a clean out your closet drive, basically. And we posted it as an event in Nextdoor, and tons of leads from that. We gave out coffee and donuts the next morning, and just tons and tons of leads. Had them sign in so we could give them a little tax write-off sheet, and just a really good way for you to start connecting with your neighbors, because there's no better, you want values for your own neighborhood so people can appreciate that. So that's Nextdoor. Any questions? Also, I'm going to send you a link. I'm actually going to send a link to Heather, so when she sends the other information out, that's step-by-step directions of setting up a page and setting up your business page. It's about 14 minutes long, so I didn't want to put it here, but literally step-by-step directions. Okay, so the next one is called Videolicious. And the purpose so you're going to get Videolicious from this is an application, work it from your phone. A couple things though. Before you download it to your phone, you do have to go to Resource Center. BHHS. Log in from your Resource Center. It's imperative that you go here first because we have a business relationship with Videolicious. If you just download the application and sign in your own way, you're going to get limited access there. So once you're in Resource Center, you're going to hit Marketing Resource, and then there's going to be a little link in the middle called Video Creation. I've already created my account, but once you click on that, all of the information is probably going to be there for you already, your name and your email address. So you can just skip to the very bottom and click that you want the free version. And after that, you're created. You don't have to go and check an email to make sure it's there. It'll say you're created, basically. Once you do that and you've created your page, at that point you can download it on your phone. And again, the application looks just like this. You're going to see the little black icon with the diamonds, 3 diamonds. Once you do that, there's 3 steps in Videolicious. So obviously, one way for real estate agents for you to use the Videolicious app is for you to create a little video about your listings. So you're going to get your listing photos from your photographer, and you're going to open them up on your phone. When you get them on your phone, because you're going to access your email from your phone. Once you get them on your phone, you're going to save them to your photos, the little flower-looking thing where all of your photos go. That's where you need it to be stored, basically. Then you open up the app, and there are 3 steps. So the first step is you're going to have to choose the photos that you want. So if you have a listing in order, you can choose them in order. So here's the front of the house, here's the entryway and the kitchen and the dining. So you just choose those. Also, if you go this route through the Berkshire Hathaway, you can choose as many photos as you want. If you don't, you're limited to 10 photos. So you can choose all of your listing photos. The next step is a voiceover. You can start talking through the application as you're going. You can say, hey, welcome to 1913 Atlas Drive in Papillion, Nebraska. As you look at the front of the house, you can see yada yada, walk through, you get the point. Just talk over each of the photos. Number 3 is you add some music over top of how the video as it's scrolling by and as the pictures are rolling by. So you can talk over top of that, and then you create your video. It says create, it uploads it to 100%, and then you can text that out. You can share it to Facebook, you can take a link and share it anywhere you want, you can email it. And I'm going to show you an example in just a second. One thing, what was I going to say? Oh, another way, a really good way to use Videolicious to kind of separate yourself is if you're sitting in an open house. While you're in the open house, you can you meet buyers and you become kind of acquaintances there. As they leave, a lot of times we forget to follow up entirely, or we shoot them a text or maybe an email or something. But if you take a Videolicious video of yourself, so instead of selecting all of the pictures, you can actually just turn the camera on yourself and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you guys came by today, just so you know, I found another house 2 streets over, give me a call, something like that. So it's a quick person-to-person message using a video that's super simple steps, 3 steps max. And then you can text it to them immediately. So if they get a text message that's completely personalized by you, just setting yourself really apart. And then here is an example by the beautiful Lisa Harris. So here's an example. It's branded to you as well.
Hi, this is Lisa Harris with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Ambassador Real Estate. Thanks for joining me today as we walk through the process of buying a home. You may ask yourself up front, why work with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Ambassador Real Estate? Along with the assurance that comes with the name Berkshire Hathaway, you can be confident that with over 1,000 agents in the metro area, we work collaboratively to find the best possible match for a buyer and a seller. Walking through the home buying process. The first step you're going to do is meet with your realtor. The realtor is going to introduce you to what her responsibilities are to you with the buyer's agency disclosure agreement. Next, you're going to have an initial consultation with a lender. After that, you will review the buying process as we're doing now with your realtor. And upon receiving your pre-approval letter from the lender, it's time to start touring homes. Once you find the home that you would like to make a purchase offer on, you're going to receive several documents. We'll be going through several of those documents a little bit later. You will present your purchase offer to the seller, and there may be counter offers that go back and forth, ultimately resulting in either an acceptance or a rejection of the contract. Once you have an accepted purchase agreement, then home inspections will begin. Once home inspections have been completed, then the loan procession and appraisal process will begin. At this time also, the title company will step in and begin preparation for transfer of the title. Documentation and loan approval at this point continues with your lender. And at this time, you would also need to start investigating your homeowner's insurance policy. Next and finally is escrow closing date. This is where you will sign all the documents, take possession, and then make your plans to move into your new home. Sitting down and defining your ideal home is a very important step in the process. It's
So what
important
Lisa
for
has
you
done
to go
also
through
over
these
this
types
is
of
she's taken
questions
some notes
and come up
so
with
that
a comprehensive list of what's important to
screen
you
is on
in a
that
home.
image, she can just read
Things
through
to
those
consider
notes, which is why
are
she's so
how many
fluent
beds
here.
and baths are required. Is there a minimum
Unless
square
she's just that
footage you're
good.
looking for? Is a fireplace, garage, and finished basement also important to you? How about a pool and a fenced backyard? School district. Do you have children already attending school and staying in the same school district is important to you? Would you like something that is move-in ready? Or are you looking for something that requires a little TLC? And finally, what style are you looking for ultimately? A ranch, a two-story, split level? All important things to consider. Once you have these identified, the next step is to find out what type of financing you're going to use for your purchase. There are options such as an all-cash offer, seller, or if you'll be
Watch the whole thing. Did
agency
you get
disclosure
the point
inform-
here? She's just gone through everything. So this is what she's sending out to all of her customers right now, just to kind of walk them through the process. Completely customizable. It's got her voice on it, so she can communicate that. And but you can use this for any other way that you choose.
Is she sending it out through email?
Email, text, whatever she chooses. Yeah. Did you say you could post that to Facebook directly from there, or do you have to take that link?
You have to take that link.
Okay, so there's a way, after you create the video, those 3 steps, it's gonna say upload the video. So it's gonna upload the video until it gets to 100%, and then it turns green so you know to go. At that point, it's gonna give you the share options to either take a link and copy that. When you have that link and you can copy it, then you can go into your text messages and just text it from there, or you can throw that inside of an email and email it to yourself, so then you can share it with your Facebook or whatever you want. Yes, ma'am?
So Tabitha, once you save it, it actually uploads into
your video.
My Video
Yep.
or My Library.
So now it does actually load. What she was saying there is once you create that video, it will go into your library of videos as well. So then you can share it. A lot of times when you're in depending on your phone, when you're inside of your photos and videos, then you're gonna get that share button, the little arrow, and then you can share it out to all of the applications that you have on your phone, like Facebook and Twitter and Dropbox and all of those. Yes, ma'am?
If I already have it downloaded on my phone, but I didn't go through the Berkshire.
Yep.
I would just delete it entirely, and then go in and do it that way, and then download it again.
And then one more, sorry. And then if you, like if you're using the Videolicious, would you say it's comparable to BombBomb, or would you say?
I'd say it's pretty comparable to BombBomb, but it's free, so.
The only difference, and I'm not hooked up with, I think the only difference is with Videolicious is you cannot track who's opening up your videos. Where on BombBomb, you can, if you're emailing them out, you can actually see who's opening them up and looking at them. So there's a little bit more of a tracking device on the BombBomb, but this being free.
Actually, you can.
Can
So
you?
when Tabitha read, she looked at mine, I could see she saw 3% of it, then
Really?
she saw 7% of it.
Nice.
And then, so I saw how much you saw.
Did that come to your email?
Yes.
Okay,
So
awesome.
disregard that. So perfect, and it's free because
Free
BombBomb
version.
is not.
Well, if you do it through the resource library, it'll be in My Activity.
Right.
If you send it out through that.
Got it. Oh, perfect.
Yep, so if you go back into resource and start looking through there in your activity, you can see who's received it, who's opened it, and the percentage. Yes, sir.
And I think they just added where you, how you said you take notes
Yeah.
and then read.
The scrolling.
The scrolling on
Yep.
that.
So there's another feature there, if you get acclimated with it, that you can, instead of taking the notes on, it's pretty easy right now to just take notes for yourself. But if you want to have it scrolling by, you can actually text or talk text your notes as they're scrolling by, so that you can just read off of the screen what you want to say over top of those images. That's exactly right.
Is there a way that we can access this so we can see the whole thing?
Oh, this video? Sure, I'll just send those to Heather, this video and then, did you say you're gonna email them out?
I can email
Something?
you. So I've got a list from Brooke of everyone that has supposedly registered with her. So if you're not on that registration list, maybe come see me individually and I can email them to you also. So just make sure.
Yep. And then I'll send her 3 things. The one for how to set up a business account for Nextdoor, the example link here. Please, it's okay with it. She's humiliated, but it's so good. It's
That is
perfect.
an example of us sharing all of our
It was
ideas through Berkshire
amazing.
Hathaway. Thank you,
And
Lisa.
then how to set that up as well, how to go through the Videolicious process. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we got one more.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Show us one more time how you got to it. Sure.
Oh, through Resource Center, you bet. I'm going to show one more time how to get there. So if you'll just go to your BHHS resource.com, and then we're going to go to Marketing Resource. And then under Marketing Resource, it's going to be right there in the middle when that comes up. So basically, just think of it as marketing yourself when you get the video or your property. And so it's going to be under Marketing Resource and then Video Manager right there in the middle. Yes, ma'am?
How long is that video?
That one's about 10 minutes long, but you can make it as long or as short as you want. So if you're just talking to some buyers, keep it under a minute or something. But this is going to go out to all of her customers to tell them exactly the process. So that's why she's.
And where did she get all that text?
She just created that text. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So when you do a video on Videolicious, does it automatically download it to Resource Center?
It does. It will actually throw it into your video creations inside of Resource Center, but it should also, I'm not sure if it does any longer, put it in your phone into your phone videos as well. But then regardless, you can take that, so it will be in your video creations inside of the Resource Center here. But then when you have that link, you can take that link and share it wherever you want as well.
Your video creations, is that your library?
Yes.
My library.
So when you scroll down, they typically show up at the bottom here. If you recently create something, it'll be the very first one that you create. And then, of course, if you do want to, if you want to take a link and add anything here, you can as well, and to store everything in one place. But it'll show up in your library. Okay?
Thank you, Tabitha.
You bet.
So I've seen agents also do live videos with this that you can do as well. You don't have to do it with pictures. You don't have to do it with a still photo. You can do live videos and send them out with Videolicious too. So don't think that you're kind of stuck with one idea. I think the sky is the limit when it comes to this. And video is very important right now in the world of real estate. But with that being said, I think it's also important that we are mindful on how long our videos are, because our clients aren't going to sit there and watch. Now on that one they will. They'll watch a 10-minute video, but like typically if you're on Facebook Live and you're trying to get a message out, after about a minute and a half, most people are going to move on because they're not going to spend 10 minutes on Facebook for a video. So there's one other thing. Just Lisa, I'm sorry. Lisa is a newer agent to Berkshire Hathaway and a newer agent in the industry, and if she is able to create this, only being in the industry maybe 3 months, she's really getting out there and seeing what tools she can have and use to differentiate herself in this industry. So, that took a lot of work and determination to get that taken care of. But now, anytime she meets people at her open house, because she uses Open House Pro, the app that you can have on iPads, she captures their information. She can shoot that out via email, and they have all this information at their fingertips in a matter of a second because she was prepared and has a process down. So, you just need to get the right systems in place. We are going to have one tech tool, I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, the best apps to use in real estate. So we'll have some of those for you too. If you're not using some apps, we'll give you some apps that you might be able to integrate into your systems. So get purposeful. Social media can increase your awareness and get people talking about you and your services. It can also drive traffic to your website. Heck, if you post just the right thing at the right time, it might even go viral. All these are worthy goals, but for me, it's important to remember the primary reason for us using social media. It can bring you leads. Keep that 5-letter word top of mind with all your social media efforts. Always have a response option, call, email, etc., so readers can easily follow up with you and have a strategy to reply quickly to any and all leads. So I heard in one of our mastermind groups that an agent was taking and posting all of her new listings on Facebook, Omaha Buy, Sell, Trade. And then all of a sudden, people are tagging their friends or their husbands or something to that nature, saying, hey, did you see this? Let's go look at this house. This is perfect. And this agent is contacting every person that's tagging somebody else in that post. So she's able to go in and make all these contacts, and usually out of every post that she does, she gets at least 1 or 2 good clients that she can work with. So she's just taking her listing, posting it on social media, and able to follow all the people that are tagging other people in that post and pick up new clients based off of that. So social media is super powerful. It's amazing. I have a listing, it's not a listing, it's a rental that I was talking about briefly, and I was getting really frustrated the other day because I'm like, what am I doing? So I was talking to another guy that does it, and I said I have it on, I've got it on Zillow, and I've got it on Craigslist, and Nextdoor app I tried it on. I got a sign in the front yard. So he's like, well, get professional photos, and I did. He goes, post it on Facebook Marketplace. I posted it last night before I left, and my phone has not quit blowing up ever since. I have 30 people that want to see this house in Carter Lake, which if any of you guys know anything about Carter Lake, it's not the most desirable area, but I live there. So it's nice for me because it's close, but I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I asked somebody that was doing something in the same industry. He gave me a tip for social media, and that has blown up my world, and so now I'm showing it like 5 times tonight and having an open house on Saturday, and hopefully we'll have it rented out by this weekend. But I mean, I don't think we give the social media the I don't know, the power that it truly has, because it's amazing. Another agent that was in this class last week had recommended that if you guys don't have a Facebook page for your neighborhood, be the one that creates it. Be the one that puts together an Easter egg hunt or a garage sale or something of that nature, because there's a lot of neighborhoods that do not have a Facebook page created. And so if you have one that you're living in that's not, or one next door that you want to be involved with, create that one as well. Know though that you guys can't post, like say listings for sale in District 66 on that, like say if you're doing a West Side Facebook page, you can't post all the listings that are for District 66 on that Facebook page, because that's out of compliance with the Real Estate Commission. But you can be their source of information. You could have people talking on there recommending plumbers, carpet cleaners, and you can be that source of business for all those people in that neighborhood, and they're going to know that you're an expert in that area. So, and you have control of everything that goes on there. You're an admin for that site. So that was something an agent had shared with me last week too. Social media, it helps to connect with your clients, market yourself, your brand, your listings, and all the things real estate. Instagram and Snapchat are popular, so use them. I'm seeing a lot of agents. I went to the Berkshire convention 2 years ago, and so the millennials, I guess, and my husband is one, but so they're like that 30-year-old age that kind of confused the hell out of me. But anyways, they use Instagram, and they're not even doing it about real estate all the time. Sometimes they're just getting, so people can get to know them and know their personalities and like them. So you can get on social media and do Instagram stories and just talk about your trick-or-treating with your kid last night. Do something so people get to know your personality and like you and want to use you. Always maybe kind of post something on social media that lets people know that you're a real estate agent. If you're creating an Instagram page or a Facebook page, make sure your branding for Berkshire Hathaway is on there. If it's not on there, you're going to be out of compliance with the Real Estate Commission, and they will call us and fine you. So those are my disclaimers about that. But Instagram and Snapchat, I got Snapchat. I still don't know how to use it, so I can't tell you that that's my favorite, but it is out there. Facebook boosting posts are better than Facebook ads, is what I've been told, and also than the newspaper. So I've got agents that are spending $10 or $15 to boost their open house ads instead of using the World Herald, and they're getting far more traffic through their open houses just boosting it. You can pick your demographics, you can pick how much you want to spend, $10, $15, but and you used to be able to go out and pick women only, which was kind of hitting a lot more of our clients, because they say women are the ones that truly buy the houses. So if you just targeted women, you could do that before, but they are kind of cutting down and cracking down on what we can use for our demographics and our choices on boosting. But if you've not tried boosting, I would recommend it because it's cheap and we're seeing a lot of great results from it. And then everyone wants to buy, no one wants to be sold. So make sure on social media that you're just being real. And I think that, I was told by somebody the other day that Facebook, you to share and get likes is not getting as much as if you have interactive conversations with people. So if you're having a Facebook business page, you want to make sure it's interactive and people just aren't liking it. You want to make sure you're getting some serious traffic through there. So make sure you're either asking them questions or do a Facebook Live or do a giveaway where you're making them have to go in and interact with you on that. Let's see what else we got. It's our favorite time of the day. It's please stand up and smile. And David Matney is not here today. He is homesick, and so he's not going to be able to kind of walk us through our affirmations today, but I know. He says he loves that part of the day. So our affirmations of the week, I've got 5 of them again, so we'll start with the first one. I have everything I need to face any obstacles that come. Every challenge I face is an opportunity to grow and improve. I have the power to create all success and prosperity I desire. my goals and my dreams come true. I can and will achieve whatever I set my mind to. Homework. So I want, because of the fact that we talked about social media, if you do not have a Facebook business page, create one. And I didn't put it on the homework, but videos are here and they're here to stay, and they're going to be part of our business for a long time. So if you have not created a video, if you've not done a Facebook Live, if you've not done a Videolicious, I would say I'm challenging you to do it. I know, I'm looking at you because I hate video and photos too. So creating a Facebook business page is just going to get you out there. Make sure you have the logos. If you don't have the logos, they are on the Berkshire Hathaway website. If not, let me know and I can email you. I've got zip drives of a bunch of different logos that you can use. Just make sure that your name and the site or the logo are kind of conjoined up and down, side to side. Make sure we're in compliance, because right now there's a lot of companies out there bored that are trying to pick on us. So just make sure that you guys are in compliance, because real estate commission's been blowing Vince up. So make sure that you have all your goals and that you've got that part completed. Your business plan is in place. Make sure you're doing some time blocking. Continue with your activities. So like I said, consistency is key. So you want to keep on doing these every day, and then meet with your accountability partner. So I want to say, I thought I had something else about social media, but I'll go through and see what I skipped. And then admin tip of the week, referral fees. So you probably all know Katie Adams in our relocation. She's our relocation director. There's 3 ladies and then Jay Lisi in that department. In addition to working with relocation clients, Katie also manages and facilitates all paperwork necessary for incoming and outgoing referrals. She tracks these numbers and makes sure all is in compliance with BHHS. She'll work with the out-of-state or local broker or agent to send and receive any checks or referral fees. If you're paying a referral fee to another agent or a company, please make sure Katie is aware. Please also mark yes to the referral question on the escrow closing sheet. So on the closing sheet that you guys fill out when you guys are turning in your submitting files, there is a spot there to mark that there is a referral, and include the details in the comments so we can make sure to process your commission check the most efficiently. So even if you're not using our relocation department at all, you don't have to, but just make sure that you have marked that there is a referral on there, because all referral checks go to that department no matter if we had something to do with it or not. So if she has an idea that it's coming, it's going to get to your pockets a lot quicker. So it's just to help kind of make the process a little bit smoother. Like I said, it might not be something that you gave to them. You know, it may not be something that you referred out through them. But if you did refer it out, make sure they have a copy of it. That way they know when that check's coming in that it's coming to you. So I've got Rick Caney that has been so gracious to come in and say that he'd speak for me today. So please be gentle. I think I kind of lied to him when I told him how many people are in the class. So I apologize. But he's one of the agents that just transferred over from CBS Home. So if you guys wouldn't mind, we're going to go ahead and get him started, please. So thank you, Rick.
Thanks. Good morning. Again, I'm Rick Canne. I've been with, I was with CBS Home for 25 years until a couple months ago, and then I came over. Very excited to be here. Then Heather wrote me into this, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. But this is my first time ever doing something like this, so bear with me. What I'm going to do today, though, is go back to the old way of doing things, I think, or the way I've done it for years. Kind of the most inexpensive way to prospect and get your biggest bang for your buck, I guess. We'll start with that. And I'm going to go off of a little bit off of my script, but I think the first thing that everybody needs to do, and you're always excited when you first get in real estate, is you got to have business cards, right? I mean, you're not really in the business if you can't hand them out and show somebody your business card. When I first started, I mean, I went to the grocery store. I mean, every single person was a contact for me, and I handed out, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 business cards a day. Everywhere I was proud to be a realtor. I was so jacked I passed that test and, you know, did all that stuff. And you should really be proud that you're in this business, because how many people want to be a realtor? I mean, everybody says they want our job until they actually get into the job. But I mean, there's doctors, lawyers, everybody, they want to be in it. So you should be proud, and you should be going out just singing your praises. Hey, I'm a real estate agent, and let everybody know. I think that sometimes we forget to do those type of things, and even some of my better friends have gone off to somebody else because, oh, yeah, I guess you're in it, but you're too busy or whatever it is. So really, business cards, I can't preach enough about still handing those out. I still have a handful in here in my pocket. I try to hand out 10 or 20 a day. I think it's really strong. I think you should really consider doing it, and it's cheap, right? I mean, business cards are $100 for 1,000 or whatever they are, so it's a very inexpensive way. Plus, it gets you in front of somebody, and you'd be surprised at how many people will take the card or give them 2 or 3 cards, and even if you don't know them, ask them to hand them to people, and you'll get some of that back. But it's just, again, getting your name out there, letting everybody know that you're in real estate, because I think that's you should be proud of that fact, and especially if you've hung in there for longer than a year or two. It's something that you should be flaunting and putting that out there. But yeah, again, there's no better billboard, than doing things like that. And then also, getting into your activities and your kids' clubs or your any type of activity. Again, let everybody know and put out the business cards. There's no more inexpensive way to do such a thing. I guess, and then we'll go, does everybody do open houses in here? Everybody tries still? And I know that opens have been hit and miss, right? Some of them are great, some of them aren't. But again, you need one person to walk through the door to make your month, right? So open houses are something I think that's becoming a lost art, especially with the cell phones and everything these days, because people always tell them, oh, well, your house is open 24 hours a day on the internet, that sort of thing. But people still get out there and they have to go in the house to feel it, touch it, just to get the feeling. And a lot of times I get when I see agents and or other customers that come into my opens, they'll say, oh, I was just at an open house, but the agent didn't even get up and greet me. They were on their phone. When you see somebody coming up, get off your damn phone. You're sitting there and oh, it's cool, I'm here, how you doing, I'll get right with you. You got to get off your butt, and do it. It just frustrates the heck out of me when I see people do that. Or I hear about that sort of thing. But it's good for me because I'm the other agent that's not doing that, right? So, but the number one thing in open houses really is, well, I would think that these days really you need to put the open arrows, do the extra things when you're doing those opens. But in the open, to get the name, if you get a name from somebody when they're standing right here, you're pretty good at getting a contact. You're going to have a customer or at least somebody that you can deal with. And like I said, a lot of times people don't get off their butt and greet the people, or when they do greet them, that's like, oh, hi, I'm Rick. Here's a sheet of paper. That's 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, whatever. Okay, thanks. And then they'll go, whatever. They don't even ask questions. It just gets very frustrating. So when I'm in an open house, the first thing I do is, you greet the people, but you also don't. I know I'm kind of an overbearing, I got a loud voice, and so you have to read the people, right? If it's somebody that's very enthusiastic, hey, how you doing? Well, then you're going to start being enthusiastic and doing it with them. If you have somebody else, read that person. They may come in, they're very guarded. I'm not giving this guy my name, no way in hell. So you have to kind of read that person, and instead of just, I think we're not aware these days we have to be more self-aware of the people and yourself, because we're always just looking at the phone and we're always trying to get that internet lead or whatever. But when that person's in front of you, they walked in your store. That's a store. That's a buying signal, right? You couldn't have a better customer than that. So, and even if they're looking for their son, their daughter, whatever, they're going to buy someday. So those are some things, I guess what I do is just try to put the people on at ease when you're there, but you also have to give them, so the 5 minutes you might have with that person, right? You need to make yourself the expert. Just what's going to set you apart from that guy that's sitting down the street at another model or at the other house. And a lot of that just takes 10 minutes before you go out to the open, do a CMA on the area. Before I came here, for example, I know that there's 2,722 houses on the market right now. And then if you're, for example, you're sitting in Elkhorn, you've got 419 new construction ranches in Elkhorn right now and 258 two-stories in Elkhorn for sale at this point. So, but just little things like that, if you can, when you're talking to them, and I always tell my people too, is that you have all this information in your head, and when somebody comes in, you're firing off every bullet. You're machine gunning them, right? You're just killing these people. They're like, whoa. Have all that information, but also, know when to use it, and just slide it in so that they can say, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about in the market. And that's going to set you apart from the next guy. And the other thing is, again, don't talk about the house. I mean, yes, a little bit about the house, but you want to really ask them questions about themselves, their family. What are they really looking for in a house? Because they may be in the ranch, but again, as we all know, buyers are liars. You know, they do not know what they're looking for until they walk in the house. So there's been so many times that I've been sending these people 2 stories because they said no way they were buying a ranch. I called them the next week and they bought a ranch. You know, I mean, it happens. So until that happens to you, I don't know if you're really in the business, but anyway, I mean, those are some things that you have to ask a lot of questions. And also, if they're doing all the talking, you're winning. If you're doing all the talking, you're losing. You know, I always look at it that way. If you're doing all the talking, it's not doing any good. You need to ask questions that get some feedback and get them to come back. And so anyway, I think that in open houses, it's just very important to keep your energy up. You know, they can cut down anything they want to, but they're not going to kill my enthusiasm. You know, but you also, again, pair that. I don't want to be too much in somebody's face if they're really introverted or do whatever. So you really need to read that person and, you know, kind of cater to the people that have come in the open houses. As far as getting a name, now, in the open house, right, you're there to get a name. You're there to sell a house, but you're really there to get a customer. And when you get a customer, the golden rule is, right, ask 3 times for their name. And if they don't give it to you, okay. But the easiest way to do that is to set them up on a safe search. I mean, the easiest thing ever is I'll do it as an, oh, by the way, hey, can I set you up on a safe search for an email? Oh, yeah, no big deal. They'll give you the email address, no problem. But then it's getting the phone number next, right? Oh, I just want to follow up, make sure that you're getting the right information or whatever. It's the easiest way. I mean, I don't think I've ever been turned down, well, very, very rarely do you get turned down to do a safe search to give somebody some information. You're just giving them information. So it's a really great way to get a name. And also, when you're in the open houses, I wouldn't give out too much information or too many sheets, right? I always run out. Oh, I don't have any more. Let me get you information and I'll send it to you. You know, why do you have to give them information? If they're not going to give you information, why give them anything? You know, so a lot of times I have that information and it's sitting on the side. I'm not giving it to them unless I think there's no way that I'm getting it. So I always make sure I get something in return before I'm giving them anything. And then also, you'll get into it and you get some conversations with people and you'll find, well, I'm not ready yet. My house isn't done. Well, I've got handyman. You know, make yourself valuable to those people. Make yourself a value to that person. Oh, I can get that taken care of for you. I have an electrician. I have a handyman. I have an HVAC guy. Whatever. I can help you with that. And even if they don't ever use you, you're their information. You're their expert. Okay. So have those sources, and especially in this business, if you don't have a handyman, you don't have somebody, you know, call me. I've got everybody you need. You know. So look at that. Also, it's going to get you a higher commission because you're adding value to your services. You're not just a real estate agent. You're out there showing them, hey, I'll take care of it for you. And don't be afraid. People are always, oh, I don't want the liability. Well, that's fine. I'll take the liability and I'll take the sale. You know, get out there, do it, and, you know, take care of it for them. And a lot of times that person may not buy, or even they'll blow you off, but they'll give you to somebody else. Oh, Rick did a great job doing this, whatever. So, anybody have any questions on open houses or anything? Or yes.
So when they immediately, I generally just ask them fairly quickly in the conversation, you know, are you working with a realtor? And then when they say yes, then I ask them, okay, who are you working with? And then they tell me like, oh, great, you know, sure, whatever. But I mean, then I kind of just back off at that point, and I'm not real engaging. So, I mean, I just feel like they've been taken care of, and so I just wonder how you like handle that.
So yeah, so a lot of times on that, I never ask that question because I'm asking other questions and I'll know, right? So my other question, I don't ask if they're working with another agent right away, right? I'm like, oh, so are you looking for ranches? Are you looking for, you know, Elkhorn schools directly? Are you, you know, those type of questions. And it's like, oh yeah, we've been looking, or we've looked at a bunch. And then at that point, I'm like, oh, is an agent showing you houses? Oh, I'm just calling the listing agent or whatever. So you find out that way. And a lot of times that's also a way to get rid of you. Oh yeah, I'm working with somebody. And then great thing is, well, what's their name? half the time they don't know the name. Oh, they must not be very good if you don't even know their name, right? But you don't say that, but you're like, oh, well, let me help you so I can, so you'll remember my name, or whatever. I mean, there's just points. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is a good point, is don't waste your time, right? There's people that are they're gonna monopolize your time, be negative, do all this, and there's other customers coming in the door while you're arguing with this person. Let them go, man. Your life is too short. There's too many buyers out there. If you're not going to get along with that person, let them go. I mean, that's when you're really freeing in this business, right? Is I don't need you. You need me more than I need you. And if they want to feel that way, but yeah, don't waste your time with somebody that you won't get along with and that does have an agent. And also, make sure it's I'd say make sure he's a competent agent. Not necessarily, you can figure that out as you've been in the years in the business, but sometimes they're using that excuse also. It's more of an excuse to get rid of you. But yeah, I do ask that question. Yeah. But anyway, in opens, I guess I'll go way back to this. I started in 1994 when Hillsboro was brand new, and then we had Model Row was right there on 144th, and there was Tracy Paulson's dad was there, but there was like 8 of us that had models out there, and the other thing I would say is do opens when other people aren't doing them. One of my biggest sales came from sitting in Hillsboro and I was brand new, so I had nothing to do from 5 to 8 every night except for go home to my wife, and she's like, why aren't you selling a house? And so I sat in the model from 5 to 8 at night out in Hillsboro, and this gentleman walked in, didn't look like he could afford anything. And this was when, at the time, we just became buyer's agents. There was no such thing in Nebraska as a seller and a buyer's agent. Everybody worked for the listing agent. And so we just flipped that over. And this guy happened to be an attorney. Didn't look like he could afford anything. He had 5 kids, little kids in tow. And I mentioned something about, hey, I'll be your buyer's agent. I was the only agent out of the 8 people there or whatever that mentioned being his buyer's agent. Ended up, he was the president of Coleman Powermate from Kanne, moving his whole company here. I ended up selling him $2 million worth of homes himself. And then he gave me at least 10 or 15 people coming in. And that was my first year in the business. And so I needed that, $5 million or whatever. It ended up being over 2 years just from being in the model when nobody else was. And also just bringing up that buyer's agent, he was an attorney and it went nuts, right? I was working for him and as a fiduciary. So just those type of things. And then that, can carry on for a long time when you get, one deal can carry you a long ways. Okay, and then I guess a couple things I'll talk about too are farming. I think it's one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't keep doing it. When I first got into the business, I started farming Autumn Heights. I think that's at 144th and Blondo. And nice little area, and I started pumping the money in. Ed Nichols was doing it at the time, a guy that did all the stuff. And so I was paying him, I don't remember what the money was, but I had no money at that time, 4 little kids and trying to figure this out. And so 6 months in, I'm like, man, I'm broke. I don't know if I can do it. Boom, I get 2 listings out of Autumn Heights, right? So what do? I don't take the money and reinvest. I take the money and spend it, do something, right? Well, to me, that's the biggest mistake. I should have kept doing that and kept feeding that because I would own that area right now. Just after 20 years of doing it, and it's a good turn. So if I had any regrets, it would be to keep farming and to keep doing that. And then also, I mean, in my years, I pretty much 75% of my business has been new construction. So I did not, it's terrible to even admit in front of all these people, but I don't do anything with past customers, right? It's terrible. And that's a huge mistake because when the market turned, and you guys, Heather and I were just talking about it, I came out the other end. I started in 94. We had the downturn in 2007, 8, 9, whatever, and there was a lot of people that didn't come out the other end, and somehow I came out the other end of that, not with very many, not with much left, but anyway, I just lost my thought. I went back to the bad times. Where was I? Oh, farming. So anyway, the farming and past customers would have gotten me through, a lot of those times. So right now, I think it's critical because we're starting to see that adjustment, and you got to get on and start connecting with those past customers, even if you just sold them a house. get it from somebody else. They'll turn you on to somebody else. So I think that my biggest mistake is no past customer, and also the farming. So those are two things. If I had to start over, I would do it. And I am starting over since I'm here. So Blanca, my assistants, we're taking care of that stuff. But always keep investing in your business, because it just, again, I just made a mistake, right? I got the money and I was spending it, and there was nothing going back into the business. So I think that would be one of my biggest mistakes. And then I'll just touch real quick on internet leads. So 3 years ago, so had Melvin Sudbeck as my builder. I've had Melvin for 20 years. And but I also wanted to branch out a little bit, and an opportunity came. So I bought OmahaRealEstate.com and 3 years ago, and I started a team. And so starting this internet leads. I know nothing about technology, nothing about barely can get on a computer. And but I bought this deal. And so we get 500 leads a month, okay, off of my website. So off of that site, then I have 23 agents. I have about 10 agents that actually take leads from the site, okay? And off the site, I mean, everybody loves internet leads. They think they're great, whatever. But they're on not only my site, but they're probably on 12 people's sites at the same time, searching, right? So how are you going to get that lead and turn it into some money? And I know a lot of people buy Realtor.com leads. They'll cost you $50 a lead. Those type of things. If you're not converting those, it's costing you a lot of money. So there's a lot of ways to make money in this business, but internet leads, you have to love the phone. Okay, if you're not on the phone, takes 30. If you get 30 leads, you should get one closed deal. 30 leads, one closed deal. Out of that one, to get that one closed deal, though, you need to make 360 calls. You need to make 12 calls to every person, okay, that you get. If you don't make those 12 calls, don't make the first one. You're wasting your time, because you're probably not going to get a hold of the first time, second time, third time. It takes 12 times. I mean, I'm not just coming up with these numbers. These are numbers. So if you don't make them, it's not. And you have to have some attitude when you're on the phone and when you're making them. Stephanie is on my team over here. I'm going to point her out. But Stephanie does a great job of, she's smiling all the time, even on the phone. You have to fake it when you're on the phone. You're having a bad day, you're doing whatever, you're calling somebody, they can tell. The energy's there, they can tell. So if you're not faking it on the phone, if you're not having a good day, you better fake it, because you're just wasting your time, you're wasting my money, you're wasting the leads money, everybody's time. So have fun with it. Steph's great about having fun with people when they get on the phone, and you got to be a little crazy, right? Add something. Nobody wants to do business with a dud. You want to have some fun, right? Get out there, have some fun with people, and make it exciting. If you're out there just going through the motions, they can tell. So have fun with it, enjoy your job. I don't think there's any better business in the world. I couldn't make this kind of money. I don't even have a college degree. I do in partying, but other than that, there's no way that I could do anything and make the kind of money I make in this business without. I just love people and like having fun. So this business kind of lets you do that. And I don't know, I think I ran out of stuff to talk about.
Do you have a database that you and your team use?
We do.
What do you guys use?
Well, it comes with my website. It's called Sierra Interactive. Okay. And it has a CRM at the backside, so it controls all the leads that come in.
Perfect. So you guys are using a database or a CRM?
Oh, you have to with that many people and that many things. You absolutely have to do it.
Perfect. So can I ask you, what was the biggest turning point in your career? When you've been in the business for a while, what was your one thing that kind of got you going into a level that you're at now today?
Well, I think there were two different times. I was, struggling. I was sitting for different builders. Getting Sudbeck Homes as an account was one of the huge turning points for me. But I had spent 5 years with other builders, Vinsel Homes, Sherwood. I sat for a lot of different people and sold, and so I learned the new construction. Everybody wants, a lot of people on my team too, they want to get a builder right away. You don't want one. You got to have the right one, right? Because you get a builder, you're going to be married to him. You talk to them more than your spouse. Okay, he's calling me right during dinner. I mean, just the worst times, right? So, but you need a builder that has access to lots. Well, now lots are going to become plentiful again. Before you couldn't have a new builder because there's no way you're getting a lot. Now I think there's going to be plenty of lots out there. But the other thing is, it takes up so much of your time that it better be the right guy, okay? Because you'll waste your time. I've seen so many people, oh, I got this big builder, here we go, but they haven't been in the business long enough to know what's going on in new construction. I love it when a new listing agent, I find out who I'm up against, and it's somebody that's brand new, and they're the agent. I'll kill them all day long. You know, I mean, there's no way you can compete with 25 years of experience in doing that. You've been in the business 1 year. The builder's not going to, you're going to be fired at some point, I think, unless you really are into the construction mode. So I would wait, just as far as getting a builder, you got to go through the steps, right? Don't skip any steps to do that. But that was one of my bigger ones was, you know, I went through the ranks and I was doing, I don't know, 5 to 6 million or whatever, just being sitting for people. And that's the other thing. I didn't sell a lot of new construction. When I sat in the homes, I sold. Mission Park was a prime example. I had Daniel's Homes, a little builder. We had 5 lots, whatever. I sat in his model, sold his stuff, but then I sold all the existing homes in Cinnamon Creek and Mission Park when they were brand new. So I had all the ammunition. I was right there, and I was selling all this other stuff while I was in that house. So I didn't care about, I cared about selling his stuff, but I was looking at feeding my family, feeding myself, so I was selling whatever was out there. So look at the opportunities everywhere, not just, you know, you're sitting, too many people always come to me, Rick, I'm sorry, I got to go sell this house for somebody else. I was sitting in yours. No, great, because you'll come back and sit again, right? If you're getting business out of that house, you should come back and sit again and do it. So, but anyway, that was how I kind of started, and then it went through the ranks, and then somehow ended up getting with Sudbeck Homes, and so I've been with Melvin. I think the first day as a listing agent, he gave me 8 listings, and man, that was unbelievable at that time for me. And so that was one of those, and then got through the, somehow before the crash, and I know a lot of you guys maybe had, how many was here through the downturn? Oh wow, so a lot of you were there. So yeah, I mean, I went from 60 pendings and 60 listings in 1 year to having 0 12 months later. Nothing pending, no listings. So, I mean, it turned that fast. So we had a whole year to go through dead inventory and all that sort of stuff. So, but I didn't want to be in that position ever again. And so we started building it back up. And then 3 years ago, this opportunity came for OmahaRealEstate.com. And then that was a huge turning point for me, and decided to change course. I could have just kind of kept coasting and hanging and just being with Melvin, but I could see that the industry was changing, and if I didn't get on board, I was going to be a dinosaur. So I decided to, you know, see what the computers were all about. No, but technology. So anyway, I just again, I don't know a lot about it, but I saw the opportunity for that, and just started that. And I started with 1 person on my team, and now we're up to 23. So
would you say on your team that you guys generate more leads, like the transactions that you close, are they mainly like from your e-lead generation, or is it from relationships that you guys have built through the years?
Well, right now the team is getting it for off the internet, but myself, I get my personal referrals, and I still get that through relationships. But the thing we're just finding out too. I'm learning as I'm going with this team thing, and how it works. But yeah, I would think that the leads you have to get. Oh, that's the other thing with the leads. Stephanie and all my people, they make the people come in, right? If they get a name, they're meeting with them face to face at some point. They're not just going to go show them one house or do whatever. We're trying to get in front of that person, right, however we can, so that way they can say, okay, I'm done shopping on the internet for agents. We'll just look for houses. Because that's the other thing. Our job has changed so much. When I first started, I had books, you know, rolls of quarters. Shows how old I am. And then, but we didn't have. There was nothing in the computer, so we actually had to find the house for the people. Now the people can find the house themselves, right? You have to add value to your services. Why should they use a real estate agent when I can go online, I can find the house, I can do everything? Well, again, our job has changed where you have to be the expert, and hey, I can help you get that, because anybody can sell it, but it's getting it to closing is the hard thing. So, our roles have changed, I think, a lot in the business from when I started, because like I said, you had to find the houses. Now, anybody can find it. It's what are you going to do to
help get them?
Help get it.
Right. So I asked this question because I suck at it, but how do you find a work-life balance in this whole crazy industry of real estate? Does it? I heard he's going on another.
I got to be out of here at noon today. What I really do on that is, and I guess I put that on there. So I've got 4 boys and I have 3 granddaughters. So I actually had to do this when I first started too, and it was really tough because my boys were in sports and I was into that, but I never missed a game because I would schedule it just right in the block. And again, I'm the old-fashioned way. I don't put it in my phone, but I have one of these, and I just block it in. Hey, 1 to 4, it's my granddaughter's play or whatever it is, and I'm busy. That's it. So, but if you don't schedule it in, you're going to feel like, oh, I can do that, and then you miss out on things. The reason we're in this business is because you have a flexible schedule and you have those things. And the hardest thing, I guess, and I'm trying to teach Steph and these others this too, is that she's all of a sudden supposed to be on our duty, and all of a sudden it's like, well, this guy wants to go show a house, wants me to show a house. Well, you're the boss, you take control. The guy's going to respect you more if you say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I can do it at 6 tonight, or I can do it tomorrow at 7. If you're just jumping all the time, you're not in control of your business. They're controlling you. You have to take control, and it's hard because, hey, that's $5,000 or that's $8,000. You need that money, but when you can finally do that, you'll really find some peace, in your life and because this can get consuming. I mean, you can get wrapped up, and this is all you want to do. You start getting those checks, and hey, here we go, and then, but if you go home to nothing, who are you sharing it with? What are you doing? I think that's important.
I would agree. I always tell agents, make sure, you don't have to tell them what your appointment is. Just tell them that you have an appointment that day. Whether it be a hair appointment, a kid appointment, just say I'm booked from 3 to 4, but I can show you at 4:30. So.
Yeah, and I never can use hair appointments. So.
No, that doesn't work for you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's your handicap?
Depends how much money we're playing.
So, actually, and this is more of a statement, I want to get your thoughts on this. I golf a lot too, and so I have my regular buddies that I golf with. And it's fun, but really all that ends up doing is I end up drinking a lot and having a good time. So what I've started to kind of do a little bit is I'll just go to like Tiburon by myself, and I'll have them put me in a group. And I've actually got a couple of possible leads from that, but that's kind of what I've been.
Yeah, that's great. I think you get more business actually in the social aspect, at bars or wherever you're at on that side. I'm looking at Trace. But or wherever you're at. But I think that because it puts down their guard, right? You're out there, you're hanging. Everybody wants to talk real estate, right? If you're with a doctor, oh, I got an ache. Everybody but you're in real estate. They all want to talk to you and they want to know about something. So that's why if you know your numbers, people are going to be like, oh, this guy really does know what he's talking about. Right, and I don't just say I sell real estate, right? I'm a realtor, or I help people with real estate, whatever. I mean, I think anybody can sell real estate, but when you tell them you're a realtor or, you help people with it, I think that's, whatever you can say just to get in the conversation, though, is what matters. Because, again, I don't care who they are. I've got 2 guys on my team that retired, and they want to be realtors. They're retired. But anyway, I mean, but people want, I think, again, you get out there and you just tell everybody you're doing it. I mean, I did it so much, people would drive me crazy. And when my business is down, the first thing I do is I call all my buddies. Hey, what do you got? Who do you know? Whatever. And it also keeps me going like, oh my God, I'm not going to starve this month. I need to find a deal. So, but I'll do warm calls myself and also a lot of things, I guess I didn't touch on this, but you guys are all my customers too, right? Agents, you have to go out and go to these functions and get to know people. And, you know, I got to know Rich Edwards even though I didn't want to. But, no, but I mean, all these other people you have to, you know, but you meet some great people in this business, and it always helps because they know that, hey, they're going to do business with me. Hey, I'm a straight shooter. This is how it is. It's nice to know who you're all doing business with, and it makes your buyer or seller feel more comfortable, and you can say, oh, I've done deals with this guy, or I know them, you know, whatever, or boy, they're a pain in the butt. We need to really make sure we get everything, you know, worked out. I looked at Crystal on that one. But anyway, it's, I think, you know, you have to go out and, you know, prospect even with your peers. I think that's huge. Yes?
What changes, if any, are you making now to implement for the coming up year?
So a couple things that I did on the team, okay, was we actually made a schedule, kind of doing it off of, I think some of these other guys do it, but we're being more regimented. So our team has to come in and make phone calls. We're just trying to make it more of a job because people wanted more structure. And also, I really believe in Vince's philosophy that the group dynamic is huge. There was a time in this business when no one was in the office, right? You all were at home, you could do everything virtually, and that's all great, but humans, we're supposed to interact. I mean, that's just our nature. So if you're not in the group dynamic has helped us tremendously the last month in our team. We're all in, we're talking, it gets you motivated, you get a little bit of competitive spirit, but you're like, oh man, if they can do this, I can do that. So those are some things that we're doing this year. Is we're becoming more structured. There's going to be some, we're going to make it more of a job. You know, I mean, too many people don't take this seriously or as a job. Hey, it's whatever, right? You're just in it. I'm a real estate agent. That's cool. I sold one house. You know, you're in this to make money, right? Get in there and make some cash. So, but the main thing we're doing is we're making the phone calls that we hadn't been making. All these guys have been making one or two on the thing. Now we're making them make those 12 phone calls, and we've already seen results. We've had just in 1 week, Steph, what do we have?
8 appointments.
We have 8 appointments set in 1 week, and we didn't have 8 appointments set in 2 months, the old way of doing it. So just sitting there and making the phone calls, and you can't believe how many times they're scared to make the phone call, and the people are like, oh, we just bought a $500,000 house. Great, but they'll talk to them for 5 minutes. They're getting a hold of these people and doing it. So the phones are something that, you know, you have to love it, right? If you don't like it, don't waste your time doing it. Find what you like to do in the business, because there's so many different ways to do it. And if you're doing something just because somebody told you to do it and you hate it, why do it? Life's too short. Do something that you're having fun with.
Rick, thank you very much.
Is it okay?
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go over a couple more things here, if you guys don't mind. One of the things that Aaron Horn told me that he does in his open houses, because he was talking about open houses again, he will ask ask the customers when they're coming to do their open house, was there any houses that you saw today that weren't open that you maybe want me to show you after I get done today? So that's just another way of trying to connect with the buyer, that maybe a house wasn't open that most agents won't do. So if you've got a computer or a laptop and you can pull up that information, you can set up that showing for right when you're done. And a lot of agents, I don't know if you guys have this on your phone or not, and I don't sell a ton of houses a year, but HomeSnap, it's an app from the MLS. If you don't have a computer with you, you can actually pull up the listing on HomeSnap, and it will give you the listing agent's information and the showing scheduling information as well. So I think there's a lot more that HomeSnap can do, but I just know the basics. So if you're not using it,
I actually want to learn more about that.
HomeSnap,
Is there like somebody that
how about we find out? We'll get you some more information about that. I would do that for sure. What's that?
we'll get Tabitha on.
I know, right? So another thing that I wanted to share with you guys in your packets, and they're not the best copies because, like I said, I got these from a mastermind the other day. So I'm going to see if I can get a better copy for you guys. These are the forms that Megan has shared with us. So it goes over her checklist for when she gets a listing, and then the file organization. So they go into every file and they're organized the proper way. It checklists when things are done, if they put the lockbox, assign, agent approves, all that kind of stuff. And so she's got a full checklist to keep her intact whenever she lists a new house. After it goes under contract, she then again has the same kind of checklist for her assistant. Right now, I think she is her assistant, if not. So she's got that to keep her in line. And then the buyer's under contract checklist. So if you're working with a buyer that wasn't a listing, she's also got something for them as well. So if you don't have any systems in place, try it out, see if you guys like it. But that's going to be the key for you guys, is making sure that you guys have some systems in place and ready to go for the next year. I will get the spreadsheet from Megan if you guys want it. Like I said, when she was showing it to me yesterday, it kind of was mind-blowing to me. So I'm assuming it'll be mind-blowing to most of you guys as well. But I will share that with you too. You know, all the agents here are willing to share their ideas with you. So if you see somebody that's doing something really great, ask them, because Vince has put it in their mindset that we're here to share with other agents. And like Megan said, she was like, I've shared this stuff with so many agents and not one agent's using it. You know, so I mean, realistically, even if you share an idea, like Lisa was so kind to share her idea with us today, but how many of you guys are going to spend the time to create that presentation and send it out? I mean, and I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's time consuming. I mean, I'm sure it took you quite a while to get that done, but when you get it done and have it ready, it can go out in a matter of 2 seconds. So, you know, just take something from these classes and try to implement it. Do Facebook if you've never done it. Do video. Do a Videolicious. And I think that you're going to see some results from it. It's just implementing one new thing, you know, to help grow your business. Do not try to take all these ideas that we give you and do them all at the same time, because you will not work. You will fail. You know, I mean, I know that you have all these great ideas. You think you're going to be able to accomplish it. Don't do it. Pick 1 or 2 and focus on them really strong. And after you figure those out, then maybe add 1 more idea in there to your book of duties that you do. So I'm going to cut us off early today just because I've kept you long, and that webinar is going to start at 11. But thank you guys all for coming today. I appreciate you. Thank you.